Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and sometimes I even wonder myself why I buy some things. Well, I was at a yard sale the other day, and this is what I got. And the price was right, so I bought it. And then I sat back and I said to myself, why in the world did I buy that? But sometimes I guess the price is too good, and in this case I paid $5. And for $5 I said, let's see what we can find in here that might have any value to it at all, and I thought I would share that experience with you. So the first thing were a couple of these floats, the Snap-on floats. Well, two of those are a little bit large for what I use, but one of them is okay. These floats are selling for about $1 each today if you go to buy them. This one's probably been around a while. It says a quantity of 12, but there's only 3 remaining. That's all right. That's not a problem. Bunch of line. Generally, I just throw line away. And here's why. You never know the age of line. And it's just a good idea, especially with monofilament. It's inexpensive. It's generally a good idea just to go and buy some new. 2 reasons. The first is you don't know the age of it, you don't know the exposure, and monofilament does break down over time. And secondly, you don't know how much line remains on here. So if you were to start spooling a reel, thinking that maybe you had 100 yards on there, this one was initially 20-pound test with 350 yards on it. Well, do I have 150? Do I have 250? I don't know. So I would prefer not to start spooling a reel to find out that, well, I just didn't have enough line remaining. So in this case, this one's got a price tag on it, $3.99. Well, Onday reel is monofilament selling for about $7 today, and it's got a price tag from a sporting goods store here in the Northeast called Modell's. Well, Modell's was a victim early on of the pandemic, and it's closed its doors. So I want to say they've closed their doors in 2019 maybe. Well, 3 years later, at a minimum 3 years later, we have this with a lot of questions to it. It's best just to get rid of that and to move on. Well, here's the second one that was in that pile as well. Sometimes you need surgery when you buy this stuff. This one has a lot more line on it. Actually, this one says it's 12-pound test. It started with approximately 1,000 yards on there, and I don't see a price tag on there, but I'm wondering, you look at the sides of these spools, they kind of look like about the same age and era, and even though this one's probably got a lot more line on it, I still am suspect of it, and generally speaking, as I mentioned, I will just get rid of that all around. Well, here's a good example of that. Here's another line, and we'll go on to this one in just a moment. If you like these kinds of videos, then please take a moment and subscribe. If you do subscribe, please hit the notification button. You'll see everything. This one was just an oddball one from a yard sale find, but the notion overall is that I do a lot of reel repair. Sometimes I'm out looking for fishing reels. If I find those fishing reels, I like to do the videos on them, show you how to take them apart and service them. They wind up frequently as the videos of choice, the rod and reel repair, and every now and then you'll see flea market finds and the like. So if you like that stuff, please subscribe. If you do subscribe, please hit the notification button. Well, back to this one. Here's a South Bend line. And interestingly enough, these things can tell you so much. So here's 15-pound test, 370 yards for $1.99. Well, we were just saying an average spool of this today is going to sell for about $7. And being the history fanatic that I am, I guess Caldor. So Caldor was a Northeast department store, and I want to say that went out of business in the 80s, maybe the 90s at the latest. So I have a 15-pound line monofilament, almost a full spool, that's probably 25 years old. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to trust losing that the fish of a lifetime to line that is that old. As I mentioned, it loses its elasticity, it stretches more. If it's been out, it gets the UV damage, and it's just not worth it, even though it looks like something you might want. Next up I actually will use, and these have been around a long time, Here's two of these. HI, I'm thinking, is the short one for Hibrix and Ibbotson, which has been around a long time. These are snelled hooks, and it's just the right size for some of the offshore fishing that I do. Now, am I going to trust that leader with it? I don't know. We'll have to see. But if it's an HI branded reel and that branded package of hooks, I'm going to bet that's been around a while. I'm going to have to do my research on this one. If they're really that old, maybe I'll give them to somebody who's a reel and tackle collector. If not, like I said, this is about a one size 1.0 hook. Yeah, that's a 1.0. These are two. Not 1.0, it's just 1 and 2. And if they're that size, maybe we'll just kind of put them on the rod and reel and just see what we got. Well, here's that hook holder. Boy, I think as a kid we probably all had one of these. I haven't seen one of these in decades, but here it is back again. The idea is you would put the hook in there and you'd clip your little leader on there, sort of like this, and it would keep the hooks organized and keep them out of harm's way. An empty box. Empty boxes are cheap. A couple of saltwater floats that don't mean anything to anybody. They kind of mean to me that they go right in the trash. Same thing here. Now, you know that this has been around a while. Here's an old striped bass lure. You got the old beaded ball swivel up top. This thing is so brittle. It looks like leather seats on a 1950 era vehicle. It's just all cracked. It's lost all of the elasticity in this thing. This is kind of trash, but so is this one. This one's got a weight in it, but again, these are unusable. And you can see what else is hanging here as we go through this. So what's my $5 purchase worth, I guess, right? Well, there was one more thing in this mess that kind of looked interesting to me, right there. So this is a KastKing little shiner. And I love the KastKings. They're deadly for fishing for the baby bluefish and the like. I guess if I wanted to fish for the bigger bluefish, I got two big bluefish hooks here on the metal leaders. They may come out of there. I got what looks like some kind of a small rig in here. If I take the time to untangle this, it looks like I have a few bluefish hooks, and these actually look usable, and a couple of other things. So let's get to the other two things that were in here as well. So this is a Kochs reel, okay, Joseph Kochs. He was out of California, and this one might say Michigan maybe. Yeah, so Kochs, I believe, either started manufacturing in Michigan or he had a partnership with Bronson up in Michigan, but Kochs was actually a California reel maker to the extent that I remember it. It's J-A, then it's got a capital C-O-X-E, and a lot of times when you look at reels on eBay, particularly the J-A Kochs, you'll see these listed as all kinds of funky things. Jalousie seems to be the one that shows up the most. People seem to say it's Jalose or whatever, but it's not. It's J.A. Kochs. And you know, these reels were popular. This one, I forget the number on it. Let's see if we can find it out. It's a number 228, 250 yards. There's a subgroup out there that likes fishing with these. This one turns. You can hear that it's not turning well because it's missing its side plate bearing. But there's folks that always look for parts, even in this condition with the broken handle. It's the gears, it's the anti-reverse, it's the free spool mechanisms, things like that that generally break that they look for. So for $5 with all of the other stuff in here, either save it as a parts reel or find somebody who needs it as a parts reel. And then here's a of all things, this is the first thing that kind of caught my mind when I did it. This is a Zebco 404, and I haven't done a 404 for my YouTube series, and I thought to myself, you know, for $5 for all of this stuff, I already know I have the Quirks and I have the KastKing, the Acme Castmaster. And if I said KastKing, I was confused earlier. The Acme Castmaster, those are the two pieces that paid for this by itself. And now I have a subject of a video that'll be upcoming. It's the Zebco 404. And I actually did test this one. It actually is working. It's working very slowly, as you might imagine, but it's working. So we'll do this one as a video in the upcoming place. And that's not all. Got myself a nice case. I don't know what I'm going to be putting in this case, but you know what? It works. It's not broken or shattered. And I always need a case for something. So there you go. So in answer to my question, why did I buy this stuff? Well, I still don't know. I know that I made enough on it that for $5 I can consider that a value. But why did I buy it? I don't know. Impulse. There you go. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions on fishing reel repair, if you leave them in the comment section, I'll be happy to try and answer them. If you know any more about these pieces, was this really Hibrix and Ibbotson up in New York? Probably, but I don't know. If you kind of know the years where they went out of business, that would be wonderful too. Leave them in the comment section. I appreciate everything our first responders and essential personnel are doing. Yep, we're right back in the middle of it again. We got another wave here in New Jersey. Sorry to say. Thank you to all of our first responders that are helping us with that. And to all, hope you've enjoyed this. Please stay safe, stay well, and stay fishing. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.